Well, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we are going to be doing a couple of things. I have a couple of announcements to make, and then we'll cover in a brief our last part of Ketu transit, because I know I need to make the Ketu aspects transit as to what they mean when by transits Ketu is looking at the 5th and 9th place from itself, which is very simple. But first announcement is that, man, I received a very scary email, and it was an email from Rahu. And apparently, the word of me and KRSchannel has reached Rahu. And Rahu is like, in a long time, somebody has is worthy of my allegiance. And he's like, I'm so moved by what you have done with your channel and what you have done with astrology. He says, I am going to come in person and do an interview with you. He says, you have all these great gurus coming on your channel to talk about astrology. He's like, why not bring the source itself and to talk about who Rahu really is, who he really is, what he's all about, some of the secrets that you may not know about Rahu that not every other astrologer knows, but he's here to reveal them. So I agreed. I emailed back. I'm like, look, I want to do this. You know, I don't know if you're a crazy person pretending to be Rahu or what. I'll take that chance. But don't worry, I'll have security. I'll have bodyguards and everything. But Rahu will be here. I'm hoping he's giving me the date of like between 27th and the 2nd of March. In that time period, or it could be early. I'm still working on the dates with Rahu. So yeah, he's coming. It's going to be an interview. It's going to be one-on-one interview. You can ask him questions, and I don't know, man, where this is going. So it's exciting time. Second, since I am now finished with my transit series, just kind of put a poll on my Facebook page of what we should dive into next, because there's so many things I want to do as the next series. I'm like so passionate about all of them. I'm like, well, let me just put it out there and see what you guys think, you know, whatever you guys are most interested in. So I've just told people to like whatever answer they see on the comment, and with the one with the most likes, we'll try to do that. So the most likes one so far is planets through nakshatras. So either we'll cover that, and then I had the second most popular was to accelerate my planet through ascendant series and to finish up the conjunction series. So that's a very good choice as well. And you can obviously leave a comment below. I'm still working on exactly what I will do. So if you guys comment here on this video, say, hey, do this or do that, and whichever one gets the most like on YouTube, we'll see what's happening with all my social networks, Google Plus, and we'll see, you know, which one I do. So that's that. And so we'll start the new series probably in a week or two, and we'll continue on, and I'll try to accelerate, you know, my plans through ascendant, because I know it takes quite a while, because there's so much to cover even after that, you know. I mean, we're gonna go like microscopic. Now, regarding Ketu, see, we have covered the meat of the Ketu's transit and Rahu, but the only thing is left is like, what happens when Ketu aspects the 5th and 9th place from itself, regardless of the fact it's in the 1st house, 2nd house, 12th house, 10th house. It'll always aspect the 5th place from itself, 9th place from itself. So you got to understand this about Ketu, is that Ketu will not only bring disconnect with the things, like you will, obviously, because Rahu is transiting right opposite to Ketu, you will not pay attention to the things that are in the 5th or 9th house, or you will be very careless about them. You will not be so adversely going and fixing those things or concentrating on those things. And that is the job of Ketu. Because remember, this is a malefic planet. Ketu, as much as we see it as a spiritual planet, spirituality comes through what? Spirituality, the awareness of ourselves comes through destruction. You know, like the highly, highly spiritual people went through the most devastating of life. And they had none of the material things that we all seek. Whether it's marriage, children, house, wealth, car, money, watches, whatnot. They had to, either they were forced out of not having those things, or they were simply weren't wanting to have those things. Because the Ketu's energy was very heavy on them. And remember, the nodes are simply confusion. Rahu and Ketu are all about making us go crazy. So wherever this Ketu is, he will try its best. As much as you'll say, no, I will pay attention to my children, Ketu will try his best to either not see certain things regarding your child during that time, or will make you so busy with other things that you will ignore the things there. So even though you're helping your child do the homework, you're helping your child sleep on time, eat on time, but you will forget that at school they're having the most trouble. They're getting into fights. They're being a bully, or they're being bullied and they're not telling you. So you ignore a little bit more of that part. And yes, even after watching this video, you will be missing some part or some link to the house that Ketu is transiting. Then, the other thing that Ketu does, it brings you with your past life regression. Each house, because remember, these are karmic. This is like the clock. This is the clock, the karmic clock, Rahu and Ketu. So what Ketu will do, it'll bring that past life regression in each house that it aspects or it sits in. Meaning that you will experience something related to your past life karma in the houses that is transiting. So let's say you have a fight with your girlfriend and your girlfriend breaks up with you. What this is doing is that it's bringing some karmic backlog of the past life, which you have to now pay Ketu. And what will happen through that, you will now be more focusing on Rahu after what Ketu does. So don't think this is, Ketu is all about spirituality and it's going to make you feel one with yourself. Through destruction, it'll do that. You got to remember, like, we all gone through breakups. You know, after my breakup, in the mid-2000s, I wrote my sci-fi book, KRSchannel, The Message of Pascal. I wrote that after that. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Here, this person, she left me for somebody who was like rich medical person, and I don't now at my age and my stage at life, I'm like, I don't blame you. I'm great. You went and had a much beautiful, better life. You probably are much more happier with that other person. But what enabled me is to look within myself and be like, what am I doing? Why this person left me? Oh, because I'm not worthy of anything. I don't have any money. I have the most beat up car. My car was so dented in the back. I had a Toyota Echo, which is the smallest little tiny dinky car. I had it for like 7-8 years. It was dented and everything. And I'm looking at my life and I'm like, man, you got so much more to do. Come on. And that was the anger. Like, wow, you left me because I'm not worthy? Watch, I'm going to be worthy. So I wrote that trilogy. And then I wrote a couple of more romantic novels after that too, which is actually some of my best work. My sci-fi book, KRSchannel, is literally about finding God, because I was trying to look for God during that time. Where are you, God? Help me. You know how we just are completely manic in our teenage years, in our early 20s from breakups? So that's what it enabled me to write a sci-fi book about actually finding God itself. About a 500 million year old computer that is discovered underneath the surface of Earth, and it shows us about life itself. So that's what happened with Ketu. And so when I went back, in my timeline where Rahu and Ketu were transiting, lo and behold, they were there to break that relationship. The Ketu was there to break that relationship by its aspect, and through which I was enabled to look beyond, look at the 12th house, beyond this world, to really find myself. So you see, this is how it does. The pain that you experience, okay? The pain that you experience in Ketu time period is the wealth that you will create in future. Through that pain, you will create wealth. Many of us find motivation in our worst of times. Nobody wants us. We're not worthy. I thought they loved us. And bam, I am nothing. So now I'm going to make something. Isn't that the motivational factor? So wherever Ketu is transiting, that's where these are the things that it'll do. Very simple. So we don't even need to go through houses with Ketu, but we know all automatically if it's going to be in the second house, it'll aspect the 6th house and it'll aspect the 10th house. So it may bring you across some enemy, some obstacle, perhaps some illness, and it'll bring you problems at work, or you'll be disconnected from your career because of the problem you're facing. Because remember, the 5th aspect comes first. Then the 9th aspect comes. So always study aspect like that. So if 5th aspect is coming, Ketu will do something with the 5th aspect first. First, it'll do with its placement. It's in the 2nd house transiting. It'll do something with the 2nd house placement, which we already discussed in the past videos. Then Ketu will look at the 5th house or 6th house with its 5th aspect. So it'll bring something related to that will affect the 9th place from itself, which is the career. So by facing some enemies, some dispute, some breakup, your career will suffer. But through this 18-month transit, you will re-energize yourself, rediscover yourself, transform yourself. Why? Think about it. Where is Rahu during that transit? In the 8th house. Rahu and Ketu are working together at all levels. They're not separate things doing the separate thing. They're all working together. Because of what you will face with Ketu, you're going to transform yourself to do something else. And it doesn't have to be a relationship breakup. It could be just your business partnerships. Breakup, anything can happen. You have too much debt. Okay? So Ketu's looking at the 6th house, bringing that pressure with debt through which you cannot concentrate on your work because the credit card company is calling you, the person is on the door, knocking on the door. What happens is after this transit, you're like, screw it, I want to get rid of all of this. So what happens is you file for bankruptcy. Through bankruptcy, that dramatic thing you did, which is such a bad thing, right, in society, but after that, you cleared your slate clean. And now you can re-energize yourself. So this is how you want to study the transit of Ketu. Okay? So guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where my all my astrological reports, so you can see where your Rahu, Ketu are in your birth chart, where they're transiting, all your planetary placements, including my book, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, including all my consultations. For that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we will see you, I think, on this weekend. I'm going to make a video, but on Monday I'll have, or on Tuesday I'll do a video with Ryan, and he's going to do some. We're going to do some relationship lessons. Okay, so see you later. Bye bye.